Hello students, good afternoon. How are you all? You all must be fine. So let's start our revision session because throughout the session you have already learnt everything. So myself, your mentor in English, Rajesh Dadij from Shivjyoti Educational Group, Kota. So students, after a very perfect preparation, we are going to revise each and every topic whatever you have learnt in Flamingo as well as Vistas. So dear students, today we are going to revise our first two chapters of the book Flamingo. This is the main book, okay students, and you will find questions from this book, means prose and poetry from this book in part 1 as well as part B. Part 1, as you know, part 1 is objective and part B is subjective. Okay, so now we are going to start revising these two chapters of prose section, the last lesson and lost spring. One by one we are going to discuss them. So to begin with, our first chapter is the last lesson, and this chapter was, as you know, written by Alphonse Daudet, right students? And in this image you can see a classroom image has been given. A classroom is there, so many students have been sitting, okay, they are sitting here and there and they are talking, they are listening to the teacher, and the teacher is holding a ruler in his hand, a scale or a stick like ruler he is holding, and here you can see some of the mature grown up people have been shown sitting in the classroom. Actually these are not students but these are villagers, okay. So these are students and these are their parents or villagers are there. So the shocking thing is, in the classroom what are they doing? What are these villagers doing in the classroom which is supposed to be full of students only? So this only we are going to learn in this chapter in a nutshell, and he is M. Hamill, the teacher of this classroom, or we may say one and only teacher, or we may say the main protagonist, main character of this chapter, M. Hamill. Okay students, and second main character is Franz, a little boy, right students? So he is wearing a hat, holding a ruler, and a coat he is wearing, or we can say especially he has been shown, he has been described as dressed up. Okay, actually this is a special dress and he is supposed to wear this dress on Sundays when he goes to church like other Christians as a special occasion. But today is not Sunday, today is a working day, so he is shown wearing this dress. It means something special is there. So everybody is looking at him in a very distinct manner. So have a look students, in a nutshell we are going to finish the chapter, and in this way I am damn sure you will be able to deal with the chapter perfectly, confidently, assuredly, right? The last lesson narrates, describes about the year 1870 and 71 students. It is the matter of 1870 and 71 during the Prussian wars. Okay students, when the Prussian forces under Bismarck attacked and captured France. France was attacked, France was invaded, there was an invasion on France, and in this way after this war France lost two of its most significant regions, and they were Alsace and Lorraine. The French districts of Alsace and Lorraine went into Prussian hands, as we have already discussed. The new Prussian rulers discontinued the teaching of French in the schools of these two districts. Actually students, earlier obviously when these regions were free in France, French language used to be taught. But now as these two regions, Alsace and Lorraine, have gone into the territory in the rules of government of Germany, means Prussia. Okay, so they announced that from the very next day French language would not be taught, but instead German language would be taught. Got it, students? So in this way, French was banned from the next day. The last lesson is a first person narrative whose speaker is a little boy named Franz. That's why I, my, me, we, us, these first person pronouns have been used. That's why we say that it is a first person narrative description. And who is the narrator? A small boy whose name is Franz. He is also a citizen of France. The boy is a resident of Alsace-Lorraine district of France. He is the localite over there that has lately been occupied by the Prussians. We have already learned these two regions, Alsace and Lorraine, have gone into the hands of Prussian army, Prussian government, or we may say in short, in Germany. Franz is afraid of going to school. Students, listen carefully. Franz, the little boy, is afraid of going to school. Why? Students, whenever you all get each and everything, or whenever you think that the school teaching is interesting, obviously every day you would feel like going to school. You would wait for the next day to go to school also. Impatiently you would be waiting for your turn to go to school. But on the other hand, if you are not deriving any kind of interest in school teaching, you would not like to go to school. Exactly the same is the case of Franz, the little boy. Actually, he is not getting anything in the French language. That's why every time he thinks of making excuses of not going to school. He thinks of playing trance from school. He skips regular classes. That's why he is not at all good at this language. And especially when the day we are talking about, the last lesson, the last day of the school we are talking about, this Franz did not feel like, actually the day before he was given a homework, means these students were given a homework that the teacher M. Hamel would be putting up some questions based on participles. But he did not know ABC of participles. He had not learned because he knew nothing. That's why he was afraid of being punished and scolded by the teacher for not learning these participles. That's why he did not feel like going to school. And one more reason is there why he felt afraid, because he had already got late and he was afraid of being scolded by the teacher like other days. Because whenever he got late, the teacher would scold in front of other students, and that's why he felt humiliation. Okay, students, M. Hamel is a French teacher, is supposed to question the students on the same. On the same means on the participles. Got it? He wants to enjoy the beauty of nature. You may be asked so many questions, students. In what way Franz planned to spend his time other than regular classes in school? So look here, he wanted to enjoy, he wants to enjoy the beauty of nature. Students, if the question has been given to you in past, you have to say he wanted to enjoy, and if the question has been given to you in present, then you have to say he wants to enjoy. Okay, enjoy the beauty of nature. He is the lover of natural beauty. That's why the bright sunshine, natural beauty means bright sunshine. He wants to enjoy this sunshine while remaining in the field, open field. Okay, the birds chirping in the woods, twittering sound, chirping and chirping sounds of birds in the form of different song, divine song. Okay, he likes that. Prussian soldiers, and this is very strange for him. That's why it brings curiosity in his mind when he comes across Prussian soldiers. You know, students, now these two districts have gone into the hands of Prussian army, Prussian forces. That's why whenever this Prussian army drills, so he stops then and there, and out of curiosity he is amazed at their regular drills, regular practice. Bulletin board. Students, this These words have been used in chapter in the beginning, means bulletin board is the board where generally all important information of happenings, chronicles, whatabouts and whereabouts have been mentioned on these boards. In this way, the villagers of these two regions naturally come to know of what is going to happen and what has already happened. So, for past 10 years, this bulletin board has been giving important information to the villagers. Okay, every type of information, all bad news means lost battles, the drafts and orders of the commanding officers, what kind of orders have been released and issued and what they all are supposed to abide by. Everything has been mentioned on the bulletin board every day. Wondered what it could be now. So, dear students, on the very last day when we are talking about, so when Franz is on his way to school, he is in a hurry because he has already got late. He is in such a hurry. So, all of a sudden on the way he comes across, he passes by this bulletin board and he comes across so many people rushing at the bulletin board because they are curious to know what has been written, what has been given as bad news or what information is there. So, out of curiosity he stays over there and thereafter he runs away. So, from behind one of the blacksmiths, he just warns him, advises him not to run so blindly lest he should fall down, and he assures him that don't worry, don't run so fast, you would be at school well on time. So, wondered what it could be now. Instead of noisy classrooms, actually during other days when Franz used to go to his school, he found the whole classroom full of commotion, noises and full of activities, hustling and bustling. Students were moving here and there and teacher was found shouting at them, badly shouting at them and scolding them to keep quiet. And if any child happened to get late, that teacher used to scold that child for getting late. Okay. So, instead of noisy classrooms, in his school everything was as quiet as Sunday morning. So, to the utter amazement of this little child Franz, the whole atmosphere was quite different from rest of the days. In what way? Actually, in other days, means rest of the days, these school classrooms used to be full of noises, but today it was quite silent atmosphere. Nobody was shouting, the teacher was not shouting, nobody was making noise in this way, like Sunday morning as if it was a holiday. The teacher does not scold him. When he enters the classroom, the teacher notices him being late, but still the teacher Hamill does not feel like scolding him and told him very kindly to go to his seat. Yes, in a very polite manner, in a very affectionate manner, the teacher Hamill tells little Franz to take his seat. Now, Franz finds his teacher dressed in his Sunday best, we have already discussed, villagers occupying the last benches. So, as we saw in the picture, the villagers were sitting over there to pay tribute. Actually, you may be asked this question, why were the villagers in the classroom? So, you have to write the answer, be it subjective or objective. The villagers were in the classroom to pay their respect and to pay their tribute, to pay their respect to this Hamill for his 40 years valuable services. Okay, actually Hamill had been in that village, had been teaching in that village, in that school, village school for past 40 years. So, a natural bonding was there. So, out of that bonding, these people had gathered over there to give him tribute and last farewell, okay, for his sincere service and also to express their solidarity with Franz. Means solidarity, their faithfulness, their loyalty with Franz and its language. Hamill startles everyone. Everybody is startled, everybody is shocked when Hamill makes an announcement that it would be his last lesson in that school. Everybody is aghast, everybody is shocked. Why? How? So many questions were there in their mind when M. Hamel told them that it was his last lesson in that school, and from the next day he would not be teaching because he was told not to teach French in that school, and being French teacher, it was not possible for him to teach German. Now only Franz, little Franz, comes to know what was put up on the bulletin board on his way to school. Now he comes to know that the villagers, so many villagers had gathered at the bulletin board. This is the reason when they came to know that this teacher would be teaching in this school for the last time today only. Franz realizes that he does not know his own mother tongue and feels regretted why he had not taken his lesson seriously. Students, this is the common human psychology. Whatever we have already got, we do not care for that. But instead we pine for the thing we do not have or we are going to lose. So natural bonding is developed in Franz's mind. He also realizes the reason why his teacher was dressed in his Sunday best and villagers sitting at the back. Now Franz comes to know the reason why all these people had gathered over there and why this atmosphere was there, why this whole scenario was there in that classroom. M. Hamel realizes that all three means the children, the parents and he himself, Franz, are to be blamed for losing respect and regard for the mother tongue. We ourselves are responsible for not giving that much respect, that much due respect to this language. He advises to keep the mother tongue close to the heart as it is the key to the prison of slavery. This line is very much important, you may be asked, and this line shows the importance and significance of their mother tongue, French. And according to M. Hamel, French was one of the most beautiful languages of the world, and every French was supposed to guard for that. The whole atmosphere in the classroom is quite different from rest of the days. Means teacher teaching sincerely and patiently. Today the teacher is teaching very much sincerely, but rest of the days he was not teaching sincerely because the teacher was not given response by the students. They were making noise, and that's why most of the time was wasted while quietening the students, controlling the students. And patiently the teacher was teaching students and others, studying with utmost sincerity. This is also one of the factors that the student was studying sincerely. That's why teacher was also teaching sincerely. Okay. Franz wonders sarcastically if Prussians could force pigeons to coo in German. So sarcastically he makes a comment that we human beings have been imposed with this type of other language, different languages. So are these animals also in this territory, in this bounding? Are they also forced to coo? Coo is the natural sound of pigeons, cooing sound. Okay, so he makes this statement to himself whether pigeons were also supposed to coo in this language. So there is a satire. The poet wants to say, the writer Alphonse Daudet wants to say that all these languages are responsible for creating barriers among human beings. So they should be removed. These barriers should not be there. M. Hamel, overcome with emotions, could not speak and wrote on the blackboard, "Long live France." So students, when exactly 12 noon was there, all of a sudden the church bell struck 12, and the name of the bell is Angelus. When this Angelus, Holy Angelus struck 12, all of a sudden the natural complexion, natural glow of M. Hamel, the teacher, he lost his glow and his face became pale, as if he had got frightened, intimidated by the Prussian forces, because obviously one day before he had been instructed, sternly instructed to leave that place. So he got frightened and he could not continue teaching, and he wanted to say a lot to the students as his last message, but he could not continue. So whatever he could say, and he just turned his face to the board and with gestures only he told the student that the class disperses and long live France. He wrote these words, long live France, vive la France. In this way, student, this chapter comes to an end. So what is the sub-theme of this chapter? Whatever you have got, just care for that. And here we are talking about French language, one of the most beautiful languages of the world according to M. Hamel. Students, just try to care for the things you have already got. Okay? So see you soon, and we'll discuss some other topic. Till then, have a nice time.